How do? So I've taken a couple of days off, guys. Have a think where we want to go with the channel. The mental health's massive. Got some victims of crime coming up, another massive thing. You know, we're about everything on this channel. Criminal justice. There's always victims. And like I said, a mental health. So, I'm sure some of you will be off to the pubs today or tomorrow being bank holiday weekend, letting your hair down as it were. And that sort of thing. Lots of people won't. You know, people still in crisis. It's been a tough time for a lot of people. So, a couple of guys popped into my head. Before I talk about these, there's a lad from Sheffield, big lad. Hoping to have him on the channel soon. I mentioned this before, his insider knowledge and how he expresses himself and talks about mental health, medication, the healthcare professionals who look after people with mental health, etc. His insight is amazing. Probably going to do half-an-hour stints, maybe do one on medication. You know, there's a lot are out there, a lot of people on medication, they have no idea, you know, how it works, what it's doing to them or whatever. As a system, it's not often explained. You know, sertraline, so many people on sertraline. Yeah, doctor doesn't say I'm going to put you on this medication, it might help you, but definitely you're going to put lots of weight on. You know, this sort of thing, we've talked about this before, weight can become as big an issue as the mental health side of things. So let me talk about these two guys. Unusually with these two guys, Stevie, I don't know either of the names. They were early on, well, one of them was early on in my healthcare career. I can remember a lot about him, I could describe him, and if I could draw you a good portrait, but I can't remember his name. I remember talking to Bradders, my manager, about him. So this guy was in for attempt murder, trying to kill his girlfriend. So obviously that paints a picture straight away. I don't know what you're thinking, domestic violence, abuse, that sort of thing. Far from the truth, he'd been with her a long time. The guy had command hallucinations, yeah? Again, I don't look this stuff up. Just at the time, Bradders talking to me, been in interviews when he was in with mental health professionals and the like. You just pick bits up, but basically this guy is hearing voices telling him to kill people. Again, sadly, quite often with people who are mentally unwell, when they think they're in a good place, they stop taking the medication. This is what this guy had done. And like I say, he nearly took his girlfriend's life. First thing about this guy, he was incredibly upset at what he'd done. You know, you could obviously see the remorse, it played on him. He came into prison unmedicated. You can see something, you get a feeling for people. Anyway, been with us about a month. He started him on his medication. He come out one morning on healthcare. We used to unlock people who weren't on unlock protocols where you needed more than 2 officers. And we're locked up with everyone else. We used to get the general population out, if you want to call them that. Clean the cells, get the medication, have a shower. So I've unlocked this guy, gone round to the far landing. As I've come back round, he stood quite clearly wasn't right. So I walked up. How are we doing? Not good, Mr. Samworth. I says, you look troubled. He says, yeah. I'm thinking I need to kill someone. I says, really? He says, yeah. And looking at him, he wasn't a lad who I was going to be intimidated by physically. However, that look, let's tell you what, how about I lock you behind your door? Yes, please, think that's a good idea. So he's also switched on, he knows what he's about. I said to him, we'll get clean outs done, showers, I'll come and have a chat. If you're feeling a bit better, we'll get you out for a shower. All right, Miss Samworth, I appreciate that. Behind his door, told Bradders. She went and had a chat with him at the hatch. Healthcare, again, he had observation hatches that you could drop and speak to people. And also, they could pass things out, you could pass things in. So Bradders went and had a chat with him. I said, how's he doing? She says, he's not good. I went back to him. Would you like a shower? Just leave me locked up, Mr. Samworth. He says, at dinner time, would you mind bringing my meal to the hatch? I says, no, of course not. Shall I not just come and... He says, no, just leave me locked up all day. Okay, mate, and I did. Now, eventually, this lad, you saw him change over the couple of 3 months he was on there, started taking his medication. He went off to a secure unit. So, how do you feel about that? Here's a guy. If I hadn't known, nobody told me any different. If I hadn't continued with the story of you guys, and I just told you, here's a guy, attempt murder on his girlfriend. You know, what are you going to think? We make judgments, don't we? See, here's the thing with him. If he had murdered his girlfriend, and I've thought about this myself, the court process and everything, do we deal with the crime first, murder, 25 years plus, then deal with a person where we're going to send them? Or, like can be the case, judges will say, I want a report, and then we deal with them. We had one lad come in who was a Cat A prisoner, a young lad who murdered someone. He clearly was mentally unwell. Couldn't get to the bottom of it, couldn't find a trigger point, because quite often with these people there's a trigger point. But a normal lad, a normal student, living a normal life, good lad, started hearing voices, went out and killed someone. Now he got 35 years from Ashworth Hospital, high secure hospital. He went straight to hospital from prison, clearly weren't well. In that case, he got 35 years. So command hallucinations. Second guy. Now this one was a proper head fuck at the time. Came into prison, this lad. Potential Cat A. Clearly unwell, came to healthcare. He'd murdered someone. Again, no mental health history, no criminal history. Just apparently, randomly attacked and killed someone. So when he come in, he clearly was not all there, and he seemed very dangerous. He was put on a 3-officer unlock, which meant he only come out with 3 staff on his own. Jury was out with this one. Remember again talking to Bradders about him. There was a lot of sort of secret squirrel stuff as well between sort of mental health in reach and the psychiatrists from Ashworth. What do I mean by secret squirrel? Little chats, conversations. So, from what I picked up, this guy had been put on a medication. Quite often, Stevie, come on kid, this way, come on then. Quite often, medications that are used for some conditions turn out to have a side effect that can be a bonus for other conditions. I think the best example of that is Viagra. You know, initially designed as a heart drug, opens your arteries, veins, capillaries, allows blood flow. Impotence, you know, when us gentlemen can't get it up, as it were, maintain an erection, there you go, it's early morning and I've used the E word. So that's a side effect. We all know about that drug. So the drug he was given, whatever his condition was, nothing to do with mental health. Nothing to do with mental health. The drug he was given was one of these drugs that his condition was sort of a side effect, had a benefit, like Viagra. Yeah? However, this drug, very strong, had other side effects. One of them was possibly command hallucinations. I hope this is coming out clear. There's a guy, he's not mentally unwell, there's something wrong with him, whatever it is. He's been given a drug, prescribed a drug. The side effect is that possibly, and it might be a very small percentage of people, can start hearing voices telling them to kill people. And it looks like this drug has had this effect on this guy, and that's what he's done. Very unusually, this guy came into prison unwell. After a month, he's lucid. He's Billy normal. Yeah, I remember this. I remember talking to Bradders. He came in unwell on an unlock, dangerous. I could see it. After a month, he's a normal guy. Yeah. He knows he's in for murder. He knows he's potential cat A. He hasn't got a clue why he's done it. The conversations, I don't know. It was all hushed up, this. You know, people didn't want to talk about it. Didn't want to talk about this guy who's been given a drug for a condition, a side effect being, you hear voices telling to kill people. Fucking hell, he's gone out and done it. He's killed someone. And then, like I say, after a month, and I know I'm repeating myself, it's because I remember talking to him and he didn't know what had happened. But again, nobody said, you know, I doubt very much in court somebody said, well, he was prescribed this drug and a side effect is, no. Just got hushed up, never got talked about. How bad's that? Yeah, somebody's lost a loved one, yeah, murdered with no explanation, then somebody else has lost a loved one who's going to be doing life in prison. Potentially because of a drug he was prescribed. There you go, guys. I'm going to leave it at that. Plenty of interviews coming up. The mental health is going to be a big focus. Like I said, there's some cheeky chappies I used to lock up. Some who have, you know, they've been about, done the rounds, well known. And hopefully they're going to tell it as it is. Okay guys, if you're going out today drinking, you know, look after yourselves. If you're stuck at home still in lockdown, you know, hope you have the best day possible. Take it easy. Parting shot. Cheers guys, thanks for coming. I'll see you.